Hey, welcome to our explainer. So today we're going to talk about something kind of funny. The idea that the best ways to boost your IQ are, well, maybe a little boring. We're diving into some fantastic insights from a work called Cognitive Velocity to look at 7 key habits. Now, we won't get to all 7 today, but we are going to get deep into 3 of the big ones, the foundational habits that can really change the game.
You know the feeling, right? We're all searching for that magic pill, that one brain hack that's going to make us instantly sharper. In a world that's pulling our attention in a million directions, of course we want the shortcut. But what if the real secret to getting smarter isn't a shortcut at all?
Okay, this slide pretty much sums it all up. On one side, you've got the easy stuff, the shallow tasks. Our brains kind of love, just mindlessly scrolling social media, playing those simple brain games, or passively listening to something. But the other side, that's where the real growth happens. It's in the deep processing, really analyzing something you read, taking time for focused reflection, and doing deliberate practice. It's the hard stuff, and that's what actually builds intelligence.
And that leads us to the core idea we're exploring. We have to look past the quick fix and start to embrace the power of real mental effort. It almost feels backward, doesn't it? The idea that the path to getting smarter is actually paved with difficulty.
So let's put a name to this: effortful thinking. This is not just letting your mind wander. No, this is the active and deliberate work, the mental heavy lifting. Honestly, you can think of it like going to the gym for your brain. It's the strain that literally forges new neural pathways, rewiring your brain to be stronger and faster.
Cognitive growth isn't found in comfort. It's forged in deliberate effort. Man, that really says it all, doesn't it? Our comfort zones are where our minds just tread water. The real growth, the good stuff, only happens when we push ourselves to grapple with ideas that are just a little bit out of our reach. That's the fire where real intelligence is forged.
Okay, so how do we actually do this effortful thinking thing? Well, the source material gives us 7 habits. Today, we're going to laser focus on 3 of the most foundational ones. These are the habits that build the strongest base. And yeah, they might seem a little boring on the surface, but trust me, they are absolute power tools for your cognitive toolkit.
So here's our game plan. We're going to break down how to read difficult material, what it means to practice metacognition, and why you should actually choose to be alone sometimes. Let's jump into that first one.
All right, habit number 1, intentionally read things that are hard. I'm not talking about your favorite easy-read blog or a breezy novel. I mean picking up a dense philosophy book, or a complex scientific paper, or a historical text on a subject you know next to nothing about. Something that actually forces you to slow down, to reread a sentence 2 or 3 times, and really wrestle with the ideas. So why on earth does this work? Well, when you tackle a challenging text, it shoves you right out of your intellectual comfort zone. Your brain is forced to level up, to build new connections just to handle the new information. And in doing that, you're literally expanding the mental models you use to understand everything about the world.
Okay, let's build on that with our second habit, practicing metacognition. Now, I know that sounds like a super academic, complicated word, but it's actually an incredibly practical and powerful skill. It's really just about taking a step outside of your own mind for a second and just watching how it works.
And that's all it is, at its core. It's simply thinking about your thinking. It's the skill of asking yourself some tough questions about your own thought processes, your biases, and what you believe. It is the ultimate tool for becoming intellectually self-aware.
The whole process kicks off with this simple but really deep question. What do I truly believe? And this isn't about what you think you're supposed to believe or something you just accepted without thinking. It's about digging deep to find out what your core convictions really are about a subject.
And then comes the next critical step. Once you've figured out what you believe, you have to ask yourself, why? Is that belief sitting on a foundation of solid evidence and good reasoning? Or is it maybe based on emotion or tradition or just something you heard one time and never really questioned?
And this last question, this one might be the most powerful one for intellectual growth. Actively looking for how you might be wrong. That kind of intellectual humility, that is the absolute fastest way to refine what you believe and get closer to what's actually true. It's the ultimate reality check for your own certainty. All right, our third and final habit for today is to deliberately choose solitude. In our hyper-connected, always-on world, just being by yourself feels like a pretty radical act. But listen, this isn't about being lonely. It's about being intentional with your time and, more importantly, with your mental space. See, choosing solitude is what lets you enter what the source material calls deep processing mode.
This is that state where your brain is finally free from the constant flood of emails, notifications, and texts. It's in this quiet space that your brain can finally connect all the dots, consolidate memories, and come up with brand new ideas. It's where all the information you've taken in finally solidifies into real, deep understanding.
Solitude is not emptiness. It is the space required for ideas to connect and understanding to solidify. I just love that. It reframes the whole idea. Solitude isn't some void that you need to fill with distractions. No, it's the productive, fertile workshop where you get to assemble everything you've learned into actual knowledge.
So, after all this boring, difficult work, what's the big payoff? Well, it's about unlocking the cognitive potential that you already have inside you. It's about being able to move faster, think clearer, and learn more effectively in everything you do.
And here's how it all comes together in this amazing cycle. You start with difficult reading, which builds up your knowledge base. Then, you use metacognition to refine that understanding. It's like a quality control check. And finally, you use solitude to deepen your insights, to let it all sink in and connect. And the result? You get this powerful momentum that the source calls cognitive velocity.
So here's the main thing to walk away with. We started this whole thing by looking for a shortcut, right? But the real answer is something so much more valuable. These habits aren't quick fixes. They are sustainable, compounding practices that will set you up for a lifetime of intellectual growth and curiosity.
And that just leaves us with one final thought. Look, this isn't about trying to do everything all at once. It's just about starting. So as you look at these 3 powerful habits, which one of these so-called boring habits are you going to commit to mastering first? The choice, and all the growth that comes with it, is completely yours.